Okay, now we're gonna do breakfast food. Today we're gonna do one of my favorites, which is an Egg McThorfinn. And what I did was, years ago, I started making this probably 20 years ago. I was like, man, those fucking Egg McMuffins suck at McDonald's. And so we would have people over to my house and I would have to make breakfast for people and stuff. And so I started trying to figure out ways to make it more fun, or for instance, make something better. I thought, well, I bet I can make one of those better at home. And so I started working on it. Originally, I was trying to make it exactly like it, and now over time I've kind of doctored it up a little bit to make it more my own. So I'll run through the ingredients real quick. You're going to first need English muffin, of course. You're going to need an egg per person. Originally, I used to do Canadian bacon, but then recently Sarah came up with the idea to try out a breakfast sausage, and I smash it flat and cook it like that, and it comes out way better, I think. So she nailed that. We're going to use truffle salt again, some kind of mustard, butter, and cracked pepper. We have these little Hashbrown things, which
Trader Joe's,
and they're honestly, we're trying to make this like a McDonald's breakfast, right? So that you can make your own hash browns from home if you want, but these are really good, and this is again keeping with this theme. And one slice of American cheese. Now that's all you're gonna need. It's pretty simple. It's just that what we're doing is we're taking the ingredients and kicking it up a notch to make it so it just tastes better. So in a minute here, I'm going to start the whole process, and we're going to, for the first time ever, have editing.
Yeah, this is a whole new thing.
Yeah.
It may take a bit longer to get the video up as a result, but we are going to edit.
We're going to edit, so it's going to be exciting. This whole part that you're seeing right now probably won't even be in the video.
No, I'm keeping it now, for sure.
Cool. Never mind, but other parts won't be. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off by browning that hash brown. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the oven on here. Stove's on. And what I'm going to do is throw a little olive oil just in the pan to make sure that it's nice and won't stick. We're going to pop this hash brown right into the oil. I'm going to move around both sides a little bit. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of this truffle salt, apply that to the top. And we're gonna do both sides, guys, with salt and pepper. I'm just gonna crack fresh pepper right on top of it. We're gonna let this go until it browns on both sides. At that point, we're just gonna pull it, set it aside for a minute, because the rest of the assembly is gonna go really quick, okay? Okay, now that we've browned our hash browns, I've set them aside. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take and we're gonna start these sausages. Now, what we're using is, I found that these little sausage patties that you can get at the store, we use Johnsonville just kind of out of convenience because that's the one our store carries. The reason we use those versus whole tube sausage or something like that is that they're just easier to store, and I can also tell how many I have for if friends are coming over. I can know, if I need to restock or not, okay? Now, the reason we're using cast iron here is I love cast iron is that it just stores heat so well, and it's very versatile. This particular pan is a legacy pan. This was my father's cast iron pan. After he passed away and I moved out of my house, my mom gave it to me as my first pan. So I've had it my whole adult life, and many great meals were cooked on this pan by my parents and myself. Okay, so these little sausage patties, like I was saying, are simple and easy, but the problem is they don't really cover the whole muffin. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it, throw it in here, and let that start to brown. But when it starts to brown, I'm going to then press it and smash it out a bit so that it's gonna be thinner, more like the ones at McDonald's, right? And you want it to be around the same size as what goes on your English muffin, all right? So what I can find is I like to use the spatula, but if you have one of these like burger presses, these work really well too. And also holding this down, it just cooks faster. So that helps as well. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take this and I'm just gonna start pressing it out, pop it on here. And there you go. And once it gets on the second side, starts to get a brown on it a little bit, you can really give it a good press. We're just gonna let this brown on both sides, okay? All right. And we'll check back with you in just a couple minutes when you guys got this browned, all right? Okay, now that you've browned your sausage, the next ingredient is we're gonna have to do a fried egg. And what we're gonna do first is I switched pans. I got this nice little Teflon pan. I like Teflon pans for doing fried eggs because I'm lazy and they're just super easy to use. I've also switched, do not scratch up your Teflon by using metal spatula. So I got this nice little spatula. Throw a little butter in there. You're gonna take that butter, you're gonna let it melt for a second. And here we go. Once that gets all around nice and hot, we're gonna drop the temperature a little bit here. And pop this delicious egg right into the middle of that butter. I like to try and shape the egg as it pours out a bit, so that way it's going to fit again on that delicious English muffin. There we go. Now, at this point, we're going to take a little bit of that truffle salt, and the reason we use this truffle salt is that we're poshy as fuck, okay? You get this at Far West Fungi in the Ferry Building in San Francisco. So about once every 2 months or so, we gotta do a little special trip up there, and we make kind of a weekend of it, farting around the city. Okay, now we got the salt on one side, and then we're gonna take the crack a little fresh pepper on top. Let that cook for a minute.
He's making this extra poshy.
Extra poshy, so poshy, you didn't even know. All right, now I'm just gonna roll it right over. All right, guys, and as soon as this is done, we're gonna go straight into assembly here. The thing with assembly is right now I'm gonna have my sous chef pop the English muffins right into the toaster, because when it's gonna be done, everything's gonna come out quick. And so it's gonna have to happen kind of right now. So right now I'm gonna take the piece of American cheese, and I like to use American cheese again because we're trying to make fun of McDonald's, but also it melts really well. So it's gonna go right on top of the egg, and we'll see in 1 second for assembly.
We're ready.
Okay, now we're ready for assembly. We've got our freshly toasted and hot English muffins. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take butter, and we're gonna put butter on one side. And then a addition to this recipe brought on by Sarah, which was an excellent choice, is that she decided we should put mustard on the other side. And I like to use Sierra Nevada mustard, and I use their stout and stone ground mustard. It's my favorite.
Why do you love Sierra Nevada?
Well, I love Sierra Nevada because I'm from Chico, where Sierra Nevada beer comes from, but also they make amazing mustard. So now that we've got both sides done, we're just gonna pop the sausage on one side, and then we're gonna grab this egg with the fried, with the cheese on it, onto the other side. Put it together, and guys, Egg McThorfins.